So welcome back to another episode, and today I thought I'd take a look at what I personally think are the best PlayStation VR games currently on the market as of this date right now. Basically the launch games. And there's a lot of games, there's over 20 games released so far, and I'm going to get through it because I want to talk about what I think are real games for it. Obviously, it comes with demo discs, and there's a demo disc here with a ton load of demos on here, and it comes with PlayStation VR Worlds. There's some really good game concepts going on in here that are full games, but they're a little lighter as well. So let's talk about some of the other games. And I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to mention the best PlayStation VR game, hands down, and that is Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. Now, some of the early reviews that I read of this game didn't really rate it that high, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went in with very low expectations. I'm like, okay, you're in a cart, it's a rail shooter, you're just kind of going through haunted houses and spooky places on top of mountains, and you have guns and you're shooting things. I'm like, okay, that'll be an okay experience, where it's the best experience on PlayStation VR. It really is. First of all, the scary factor. This game will scare the living fucking daylights out of you. It scared the hell out of me. And I had a few friends come over and demo it as well, and just seeing their reactions is incredible. Just seeing people's reactions to PlayStation VR in general is awesome, but Until Dawn takes them to a different level.
Wow. How does it do that? How does it make it so real?
When they first go up and do the roller coaster ride, and they feel the vertigo of really being on a roller coaster, and that's the thing, you feel that you're on a roller coaster. You have that same sensation, but you have guns. And there's all these things that are happening to you. I can't even tell you the monsters, the creatures, the mannequins, everything that is thrown your way is incredible and scary. You never know what's coming around the corner. The best way I can sum up the experience is, if you go to Universal Studios or Disneyland and you go on one of those virtual rides, with 3D glasses and the whole experience, that feels like this at home, but much more violent, much more scary, and it takes you over the edge at times. But I have played this game so much, and honestly, if I was on a desert island and I only had a PlayStation VR, I would pick Until Dawn. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Of all the launch games I played, that game has made the most impact on me. And as I said to you before, I'm not trying to sell the PlayStation VR. I'm just trying to sell the experience. So go to a friend's place, anybody who hasn't, and try it out. They're in the malls right now. I took a photograph. I was in a mall, and they were, everybody was demoing all of these games, and so try it out, give it a shot. I would just love to hear your experiences with it. It's really something else. Another game that I really want to talk about is Batman VR. A lot of talk about this, a lot of talk about the experience and how good it is, and let me say, the experience is insane. Really, it's insane. On kind of a 1 to 10 of the visual intensity and the feeling of being Batman and being in the Batman world, it's a 10 out of 10. But there's a shortcoming to Batman, and I really want to talk about this because it really hurts me. It really hurts me deep down inside. And the reason why is I played the beginning of it, and I was like, okay, I want to savor this. I don't want to go through this game because I heard it's very short. And then I was like, okay, fine, we're going to do this. And I put on the VR helmet, and I start going all the way through the game. It is wonderful. Like, there's a scene in Gotham where I'm standing on the edge of a building, and I had to take the VR helmet off. It was so real, I got vertigo. Because I do have a fear of heights, and I was like, holy shit. But I had to put it back on. I was like a sucker for punishment. I'm like, this is amazing. But what ended up happening is I kept on playing it. I was loving it. I mean, I have never loved a VR game like I've loved Arkham. It was awesome. And then just as I was really ready to get into the game, the credits rolled. I couldn't believe it. I was so gutted because the experience was so good and it was over. I'm like, what was this? And to be honest with you, if you just blast your way through it, you can finish the game in an hour. You can finish the game in a lot less, to be honest. You just go click, 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 and you just get right through it. I'd say first time through 2 hours. 2 hours. Now, before everybody freaks out, trust me, I'm the first to freak out over 2 hours. I want to say it's a budget title, and the experience is so good. I have never felt more like a character than I did, as Batman in Arkham. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was Batman. I have never felt so empowered in a video game before, and seeing some of my friends come over and just seeing their reactions, and after they take off the helmet, they're sweating. They're like, that was unreal. I can't believe it. And that's the experience that Arkham gives you, and I do rate it highly. But please understand, it is a very short game. Now, another game I've had a lot of fun with, I've been tapping my foot playing it, and that is Res Infinite. And I'll be honest with you, I never really played any of the other Res games. They always were highly rated games, but I never played any of them. I just saw, people playing them, stuff like that, but I never personally played them myself. Where I thought, okay, I'll give this game a go. Holy crap! It is absolutely fantastic. The only way I can describe it is, it's like entering the world of Tron. And you can use the controller, you can use the move controllers, or you can just use your head and just look at enemies and it pinpoints them and you just click and you highlight them and then you can destroy them. Very basic concept, but boy, do you get sucked into this world. I mean, the music, I was sitting there just going, I was like, bombing my head, just totally into it, just blasting enemies, and I was like, this is an awesome experience. It really is a fun experience, and it's one with a lot of levels, and there's a lot of difficulty, and it gets a little bit harder. The bosses are really fun. There's little moments where it boosts, and you just feel vertigo. You're like, whoa, I'm moving like through this. I know, I sound like a hippie. Whoa, man, I'm going through this virtual space. But that's how I felt. It was awesome, and I recommend that. If you get the headset this Christmas or afterwards, you're looking for a game, you're like, I don't know about Res, really give it a shot. It's wonderful. Now, a lot of people will be saying, okay, John, this game's on all the VR headsets, and it is. But I've never seen people that I invite over to try the VR headset react so well to. Everybody loves this game, and I love the game as well. I really do. I love being the mechanic in it. And it's a simple one. Job Simulator, of all games. Really, yeah, Job Simulator. But I just noticed when I've been demoing it, people really resonate to it. People have a lot of fun. You're in a virtual job. I know, that sounds like horrible. You're in a virtual job, but you can work in a restaurant and you're making sandwiches, opening the fridge, getting ingredients, making bacon and making... it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept, but it works so well. And the one thing that I'll say about Job Simulator is the humor is awesome. It's really, really funny stuff. Now, Battlezone is another game I want to talk about. And that's a game that I grew up with, the vector-based graphics. It was you basically look through a scope back in the olden days, and you'd shoot these vector-based things that would blow up. And I loved it as a kid. It was the closest thing to being in a real tank. Boy, the 80s were a tough time. You had to use your imagination a lot. But let me say this, you don't have to use your imagination anymore. You're in a real fully fledged tank, again, I'm going to use the term again, in a Tron-like world, fighting against other tanks and other aerial ships and platforms and all that kinds of stuff. You can play by yourself, but here's the thing, not a lot of people talk about this. You can play it co-op, and I'm going to talk about this. Here's something funny. I get a text from Chris Tang, the Sega World Champion. He texts me, and he's like, hey, I got Battlezone VR. Let's go do some co-op. And I was like, of course. And so we sat all night and did co-op, and I have a lot of pros and a lot of cons to the Battlezone experience in general. The game overall is a fully fledged, real meaty game. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in it. But what me and Chris discovered that night is it's very, very buggy, this game. It's really buggy. We'd be in co-op mode, and we're going to destroy the main fucking computer thing that we have to destroy, and all of a sudden his cannon just disappears off his tank. It's gone. And sometimes I'm trying to reload, trying to switch weapons, and it won't do it, and I'm just pressing the square button, and it's like, why? What's happening here? And a lot of weird glitches and things like that. That's the one downside to this game. I think they pushed it out a little too soon, but the experience is good. What I would say for Battlezone is wait till the price drops. It's a fully priced game right now, and I don't think it deserves that price because of all the bugs in it. And me and Chris were very frustrated that night. And sometimes what we thought with the game is it was a little too overcomplicated for what it is. It should be a very, very simplistic game. But some of the menus and stuff, like already when you're in VR, it's a very intense experience. And then looking around some of these menus, it's like, okay, what are we doing now? Where are we going? We were doing this, scratching our heads a lot with the menu system. But overall, it is a fun game. And a few more games before I go, I just want to mention Wayward Sky. You play as a little girl character in kind of like a sky world, and you're solving puzzles. It's a point and click adventure, but boy, it's intense. And why it's intense, what you're doing in the game is you're just clicking on things. That's the basic thing. But the vertigo, and I'm saying vertigo in a good way, like the feeling like you're in the air, looking around going, whoa. There's many times, as they say, I have a fear of heights, and I was like, oh my god, like I feel it makes a level seem so much more intenser, and that's a really good experience, but it is an intense one. Maybe just for me. Another very intense game is Riggs, and that's a battle arena game, and I hate to say this, but I have a hard time playing Riggs. Riggs is everything that I've ever wanted. It's a game where you get to jump in a giant mech and fight against other mechs and do all that kind of stuff. What's the downsides to the game? Be careful what you wish for, because you already feel the height when you're in the robot. You're like, whoa, I'm in a freaking robot. I feel the height of it. I feel the intensity of that. And then all of a sudden, when you start jumping in it, oh, it's very disorienting. It's a really cool experience when you get used to it, but it took me days to really get into it. I put the helmet on Kim to see how she would do with it. She didn't do well. She's like, I don't even know what's going on. And I think that's a real renter of a game. Give it a shot, because I notice a lot of people either really take to it really well or they can't play it. It's just way too intense. It's the experience is intense. I don't know if it's just a feeling of bad motion sickness, or that the game is so goddamn realistic that be careful what you wish for. That's the thing I say about that one. But a lot of really great games, but all the first games I mentioned are must-buy games. Until Dawn it's such a great game. I could talk for 2 hours about why I think it's incredible. Going up in the car and you have lights on your guns and you're just shining it on the walls in caverns and even up hills and stuff like that. And you can shine on the trees, and it just feels like you're really there. It's surreal. And some terrifying jump scares. Just when everything's fine, some ghost is in your face right here, screaming in virtual sound at you. It's a terrifying thing. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to talk about some of my favorite PlayStation VR games. So anyways, guys, until next time.